Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. Recently Rolex announced the release of new models and some updates to their 2020 ones. Now, of course, as predicted, the reaction was pretty over the top, both positively and negatively. On the positive side, more adoration and love for the brand. On the negative side, criticism and hate, so much hate especially in social media. And I thought to myself, why is that? Why does Rolex strike a nerve with people, both positively and negatively? Now, I like to draw comparisons from normal life with the sports world to help kind of understand things. And so I thought to myself, is there a team in sports that strikes a nerve? And if so, are there similarities between the team and with Rolex? Now, I live in the New York tri-state area, and of course, I didn't have to look too far. That team is the New York Yankees. Now, as a caveat, this video is supposed to be lighthearted. It's also a way for me to work out my thoughts and try to come to some sort of closure of why Rolex strikes such a nerve with people. Now, before I continue, please remember to like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get updates when I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. And please also follow me on Instagram. So now let's continue with the discussion. So I've identified 5 qualities or characteristics that both Rolex and the Yankees share. Now, they may be more, but I'm just sticking with these 5 for now. And the first one is icons. And Rolex has icons. Their icons have icons, right? You have the day date, the president. You have the datejust. And people buy these watches to mark milestones or to celebrate achievements. I'm going to be turning 50 in 3 years, and my top target to celebrate that 50th birthday is the Rolex datejust. You also have the Daytona, and the Daytona has the Paul Newman Daytona. You have the Rolex Submariner and the GMT, the Pepsi GMT. Now, the New York Yankees have also icons, not only in Yankee history, but of all baseball history. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, and recently Derek Jeter. The second characteristic is generational excellence. Speaking of Yankees, they've won 27 World Series over the course of 100 years. A full 1/4 of the champions have been New York Yankees in the last century. Not too many other organizations in the world can boast that, save maybe the Montreal Canadiens, who have had excellence for a long period of time or at one point. Now, Rolex has generational excellence as well. Maybe at some point in the past, there might have been another brand out there that was revered as highly as Rolex, but over the last couple of generations, Rolex has always been one of the top brands out there. And it's only been more and more popular, I feel, in the last couple of decades. The third characteristic is quality product. Now, I've never owned a Rolex, but I put on and tried on many a Rolex in my life. And there's something about it when it goes on wrist that you automatically know that this is a quality product and that most other watches that you've tried on or own do not compare. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of the build and whatnot, but if you own a Rolex or tried on a Rolex, you know what I'm talking about. Equally, the Yankees have been putting on a quality product for a really long time as well. Over the last 100 years, like I said, they've won 27 World Series, but they typically put on a quality team. Yes, some years are better than others, and they've had some down stretches in those last 100 years. But overall, they keep on putting a quality product out. The fourth characteristic or similarity between Rolex and the New York Yankees is the love, the fan base that each enjoys. Rolex, people love Rolex. There's Rolex fans all over the world. Rolex means so many different things for different people in a positive way. Now, equally, the Yankees have a huge fan base. Now, they're not the only team in New York, but they're the #1 team probably, and because you do have the Mets. But there's so many fans in New York across the country and all over the world. You'll see people in other parts of the world with Yankee hats. And the New York Yankees is synonymous with baseball in America, just like how Rolex is synonymous with luxury watch making in the world, I feel. Now, the fifth characteristic is the hate. So the total opposite, right? So with Rolex, there's so much hate for Rolex, and there's many reasons. There could be, the wait lists, the what Rolex means to some people may be a negative. The fact that Rolex is now becoming unattainable price-wise, it keeps on inching up, and the regular guy like you and me cannot afford to celebrate with their 50th birthday with a datejust. Maybe I won't be able to afford a new datejust in a couple of years. Who knows what my life will be at that point. Same goes with the Yankees. The hate for the Yankees. Now, I'm a Baltimore Oriole fan, and my wife is a New York Mets fan. So I don't hate the Yankees, but I get it. And maybe the reason why people hate the Yankees is because they win a lot, or maybe because they spend so much money to get all the star players, or maybe you do have a small group of fans who are a little obnoxious, and it's a case where a couple of bad apples ruin it for the rest of the bunch. And most Yankee fans are gracious and really knowledgeable about the sport. So in conclusion, the comparison between Rolex and the Yankees, the New York Yankees, has helped me kind of get to an understanding of why certain brands like Rolex or certain teams like the New York Yankees strike a nerve with so many people. I'd like to know what you guys think. Are there other sports teams like the New York Yankees that are very divisive? Or are there any other companies or whatnot out there beyond sports that also strike that nerve? Please put a comment below. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.